one of our homestand sports icons, legends, Sean McCormack, coming back from the can. We'll find out and see how it went down for him. But he might not. He might just be waiting outside. Listen, we teased this before the break. We've been thinking about this for a while. Of all the managers in the Premier League specifically, which ones we'd rather have a beer with? Who would be the best drinking partner? So we've both put together our list of top 5 ranked beer drinking managers in the Prem. I'll let you present yours first, and then we shall discuss.
Okay, well, as we kind of alluded to, I think number 1 is going to be Ange. Big Ange, because not only do I think he can hold his liquor and he can drink well, but I have so many questions about his transition to the Premier League. I'd like to know about him. Yeah. Aussies are usually pretty easygoing as well, so I think it would be a very, you wouldn't feel like you're sitting down with a coach of the Premier League. You're sitting down with just, Joe from over there.
Every man, right?
Every man.
Yeah, exactly. Really easy to talk to.
Yeah.
He'll have some great worldly advice without being arrogant about it. Like I'd ask Ange questions about life and help me out where I am currently in my life. He'd give me great advice, I think. And he also wouldn't miss around.
Yeah.
He wouldn't miss around.
Never.
Be all right, my turn.
Yeah.
My round.
You got the last one.
Yeah.
This one
Come on, I got this one.
Yeah, it's fine.
Definitely a pint drinker as well, right?
Yeah. He's not having anything too fancy or too fruity. It's a nice cold beer.
I think no IPAs for Big Ange.
No,
I don't think. No. So we very much agree with that. Who else you got in this top 5?
Okay, so this is from our first to 5th.
Sure,
okay.
Let's do that.
Number 2, this is biased. I know this won't be yours, but we will have the same. I'm promising you after this. For me, it has to be Pep Guardiola, simply because I need to pick his brain. I need to know what's going on in there.
But pre-match Pep or post-match Pep?
No. We spoke pre-match Pep because he'll be in good spirits, or post-match only if they have an absolute screamer of a game and they're winning 3-0. Everyone scores. I think he's maybe the best coach we've ever seen in the history of the game. I need to just know how his brain works. I probably won't even get a notion, but just sitting there and being able to ask a few things, seeing about his time at City to Barca to Bayern. I'm so curious about just so much of his. This is more for me. This is for me.
I get it. I mean, he didn't make my top 5.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And the only reason was I think he'd get too much into tactics, which I find kind of boring. He'd be pulling out the salt cellars, the napkins, and moving things around. You love that stuff.
I'd be like, do you remember at Barcelona, the reason I put Messi over here? Well, because, and I'd be like, oh my God, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
No, for me, it's a personal one. I will say that. This one was personal, but I just think he's so brilliant. Even if I could just get a little idea of how his brain works, I'd be so pleased.
Do you think it'd open the door, though, to get a peek or not?
Oh, who knows?
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? The more he drinks, the more you'd be able to open that door wider and wider, perhaps. Yeah. But then maybe you'll see the madman within, because he is a madman.
Oh, he is.
That might scare you off.
It might. I mean, it depends how much. And it's going to be red wine. He's Spanish. Let's not. Yeah, he's going to have a nice glass of red wine. So how many of those are we having? Well, only time will tell.
Well, a number, I would imagine. Yes. A number. Okay, so you got big. Number 2, I actually have Sean Dyche.
Okay, he's my number 3.
Is he?
Yeah.
See, kind of similar to Big Ange.
Yeah.
He can hold his pints. Yeah. For sure he can. There's also a great press conference a few years ago now talking about playing looky-likeys. Do you remember that one? Yeah. And a game you play with his mates, you'd be at a pub or a bar and you see someone, hey, he looks like Pep Guardiola. Yeah. I love playing that game. Yeah. I'm really great at it too, by the way. Ooh, fantastic.
Okay.
I think I'd have a lot of fun with Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
I think it could go off the rails.
Oh, I think
it could turn into a lock-in.
You would wake up the next morning, on the floor, not knowing where you were, your pants over here. It would be a nightmare.
Whoa. Yeah, but Sean wouldn't be present, just to confirm. Right?
I didn't mean like that.
Sean Dyche is going for a run, probably. I don't think Sean gets hangovers. I think he's a hard man.
Okay.
No hangover would even consider battling Sean Dyche.
He'd out-drink, he'd drink you under the table, though.
Destroy you. Destroy you, absolutely.
Yeah, so he's my number 3.
Okay, who's your number 2? Oh, your number 2 is Pep.
2, so I'll do my number 4.
Yeah.
And then Roberto De Zerbi. Give me De Zerbi ball.
I didn't consider De Zerbi, but that's not bad.
I think he would be a blast as well. Like Sean Dyche, I think he'd be super fun. I think he's able to separate the football from a good time. Mm-hmm. Italian. It's going to be fun.
Would he get emotional
Yes.
The more he drinks,
we'd
perhaps.
both have a cry.
Yeah, I could see that totally.
I just loved Moise Caicedo so much, and
Yeah, 'cause you love football more than most people I know.
Yeah.
I think he's someone that just
Passion.
pure passion.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good time. And also, who hasn't loved Brighton since he's been there? Like, talk to me about the team too. Like, it's just brilliant. Like, how are you able to, I don't know, like, just create this really fun team to watch too? But I think he'd be a blast.
Also, because you've already spoken to Pep, you could give him some
I'll be
advice.
like, guess who told me they really like you?
Yeah.
Pep, he's like, I keep hearing this guy.
Don't sign a long-term contract, Roberto.
Yeah.
There's going to be a big job at City opening up in a couple of years' time.
Oh my God, can you imagine? No, I think he'd be good. So clearly you didn't have him. I thought maybe you would.
My third will stun you.
Oh, is it Heck?
Nope.
Can
Roy
I guess?
Hodgson.
Oh, Roy. Ooh, he might have a drink.
Imagine the stories this guy has.
Yeah.
He is
How old is he though? Like,
76.
You might not want to drink too much with him. I feel like that could.
I could see Roy be drinking sherries.
Yeah.
I think right, sipping. He wouldn't be drinking heavily.
No, you would.
I would be absolutely. But imagine this. He's coached in so many countries, so many clubs, teams, nations. He's seen it all. I think he'd be brilliant, and he'd be the kind of guy who would just quietly shuffle off to the toilet, and on the way there, pay the bill.
Oh, I love that.
Wouldn't he? And he'd come back, and he goes, James, I've it's time for me to go home. He put his hand on my arm and go, don't worry, I'll cover the bill.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure. You're a very nice young man. It'd be a nice, I feel warm.
Yeah.
Better as a person, having spoken to Roy.
Yeah, you'd walk home with like your hands in your pocket, just smiling, like
whistling maybe.
Yeah. You would. You'd look like you're like out of a TV show or something. No, you just feel very fulfilled, I'd say.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a good one. No,
right?
that's a fair shout.
Not a party.
Not a party.
But it's satisfying.
Yeah.
A nice evening.
Yeah.
A nice evening.
I like that. Okay. So I only have one left. Who's your 4 then?
Club.
Yeah. He was just below.
Because people love him or hate him.
Yeah.
I love him. He's got the smile. He's just, I think, a big personality. Again, great stories. And a manager. Players love playing for him, so I think he'd be a great drinking mate because of that.
You're not also having pints. You're having steins.
Yeah, big steins.
Big stein guy. The only concern I would have about Klopp is one stein too many, and angry Klopp comes out. He might be the guy fighting someone else in the bar. Like, that's where I could see that going. It could be great, but you have to watch him because you know his temper.
You have this vision of you got the smiley Klopp at first, right?
Yeah.
You're really happy, you're having a great old time. Then suddenly that underbite comes protruding out. And like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I gotta go.
What do you mean by that? Yeah. Nothing, Jürgen, I promise.
The impressions today. Yeah, no, I think Klopp would be great, but I think it could go south quick, and you have to make sure it doesn't.
Yeah, keep him happy.
Yeah, have to.
Keep him happy. Okay, who's your fifth?
My final.
Yeah.
It's actually Erik ten Hag because he needs a drink more than I do.
Oh, that's very well done. That's brilliant. Yeah.
To be fair, he needs, and it's not a beer. It's like a straight up whiskey. He needs something strong and just warms you right up immediately. I feel bad for Erik ten Hag at this point. Like he needs a buddy. I can be that. He needs to have a drink. He needs to have a chat. So this is more for him than
this is. You guys are sitting at the bar, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
at the bar,
yeah.
And the bartender's given a couple of shot glasses and a bottle.
One of these.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
staring
one
at his
of
shoes.
these. It's one of those. It's just
every now and again.
Yeah. It's just again. Yeah. I just think if anyone in the Prem needs a drink right now, it is him.
Do you think does he become emotional the more he drinks, or does he get angry like Klopp?
I kind of see this getting more emotional because if you think about last year when Ten Hag came, they got back into their flow. They were playing really good football. We all saw Manchester United turn it around. I think he does have a connection with this team and with some of the players. So I think now it's like everything's just going wrong, whether it's injuries, players not playing, the issue upstairs and whatnot. I think like he must just be gutted and he's like, why isn't this working out? I've literally done everything. There's nothing anyone else can do right now, right?
You're right. So and now big Sir Jim Ratcliffe has arrived.
Yeah.
Maybe part of the conversation is about, so do you know much about this guy?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about him?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Has he got a clean slate? Is he Does he become optimistic the more he drinks because he's got this fresh slate now, perhaps?
Maybe, but I don't.
No, I think you're right. I think it's depressed.
I think it's depressed.
Really
I
depressed.
also think selfishly, the stories, if he gets enough in him, would be crazy.
With the Ronaldo series
the
of
Ronaldo
events.
situation alone, I'm sure would just be unhinged. But he must, that Garnacho guy in the locker room, he's such a dick. Why?
You think he'd just lay it all out?
I think if you got him drunk enough, after the sadness, he would just start like word vomiting naturally, as we all do when we get to.
And you can imagine the next day he wakes up and be like, oh, what did I say? Oh no, God, did I really say that?
Mail.
Shit.
Sarah Ferrario reports.
My fifth is Thomas Frank.
Yeah, good shout.
You know, great hair.
Yeah. Oh.
Really interesting guy, right? He sees football, I think, differently to a lot of coaches. I want to know what his ambitions are in the game as well, because Brentford's a really good club and it's perfect for him.
Mm-hmm. Lots like that, though. We never know what we're getting from him.
You don't know. Yeah. Exactly. But does he have aspirations to assume control of a big club one day? And could he do the job? Yeah. I do wonder if would he forget to get around in? Not because he's cheap or anything, but he gets talking, and then before you know it, you've bought him 5 pints. Although I'm not sure he pints with him. But
it could be one where you end up sitting there, and he just keeps talking and talking and talking, and you realize, geez, we've been talking about this for 20 minutes, and I haven't said a word.
Can we move on? Yeah, it's time for something else now.
Yeah,
I know Ivan Toney's a good striker. I know that.
Oh,
I know you missed him this year.
Don't even bring up.
And Buemo's underrated. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
You made your point. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I just think he's an interesting guy.
For sure.
I like his press conferences. So my 5 are Frank Klopp, Hodgson, Deitch, and Ange. And yours are Ange, Pep,
Sean Deitch, Roberto De Zerbi, Eric Ten Hag.
Let us know what you think. Who would you like to have a beer with? Rank them in the top 5 managers in the Premier League. When we come back, 442picks.ca, none to pick this week because it's internationals, but we're going to look at our strategy moving forward. Room 442 is brought to you by North Star Bets. That's a win.